Well, hello everyone. Hola Peperinos. I haven't said that in a while.
She hasn't said that in a while.
So, as you can see, we're not in North Carolina, and we're not at Disney World. It's very flat here. Any guesses?
Although we're going up a hill.
We are technically going up an incline. However, we're at none of those places.
Look out that way.
We are in Dallas, Texas, baby.
In 1 mile.
Woohoo!
Exit
So
right.
we are here in Dallas because this young lady back here is taking part in the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders dance camp. But we're gonna do some touristy stuff while we're here. We're actually getting ready to get off at an exit towards Denton. So you know how much we love our wrestling. Denton is where the Von Erichs were from. But I think we may hit up the Southfork Ranch today, where we're gonna try anyway. Where
In
they
a
filmed
quarter
Dallas.
of a mile, exit right.
This isn't where we want to go.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure out the lay of the land here. But we're going to do that, and I think tomorrow we're going to check out those. We keep hearing about the Fort Worth stockyards.
Exit right.
So yeah, we'll check in with you guys later. Yeehaw! All right, we decided to go ahead and head on over to Southfork
In
Ranch.
0.1 miles, turn left.
Oh my gosh, we're doing this.
Oh my god, it's the gates too. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And it's the trees lighted. Oh my god, I'm dying. I am dying right now. You have no idea. I'm geeking out right now. Alright, so I think we go in one of these buildings and buy the tickets. Yeah, the tours and events. Proceed ahead. So we go over there, we buy the tickets, and then we go over there and see the house. Oh my god. Oh, how I wish Dallas was in Tennessee. All right, this is the visitor center. This is where you go get the tickets to go over to the house and do all the tours. Looks like they have a little area over there where you could do like rodeos and stuff too. But look, Southfork Ranch Roundup. Yeah. This may be the coolest place I've ever been to.
I love the children.
That is JR. That is Sue Ellen. And that is Bobby.
Hello, children. Hello there.
That's the original cast. Sue Ellen, Ellie, Miss Ellie, Jock, Cliff. Oh, it's Victoria Principal. Pam, JR, Ray, and Bobby. My love for Bobby Ewing knows no bounds. Alright, so this is a little wall for the new cast. John Ross, I can't remember her name on there. He played, Jesse Metcalf played Christopher.
Yep.
Oh, I don't remember her name either, but you had some of the old cast and some of the new cast. But yeah, Josh Henderson, who plays John Ross. Oh yeah, he was awesome. He uses antlers in all of his decorating. So as you enter the museum, they have the boot prints and the handprints of the stars. So that's Steve Canale, who played Ray. This, I can't tell who that is. King Kershaw, maybe?
Yep, I think that's
Okay, that's Cliff. That's Patrick Duffy. That's Bobby. Whom I love. Victoria Principal, who played Pam. There's Larry Hagman. That's JR.
And Linda Gray was Sue Ellen.
And Linda Gray is Sue Ellen. Oh, it's so cool. Oh yeah, I forgot George Kennedy was on the show. I forgot about that. Oh, and Miss Ellie's husband after Jock. Oh, it's Howard Keel, but
Yeah, I remember.
I still remember him from Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And I remember him too. There's Ken.
Everyone has somebody like myself somewhere in the family. And
JR is the greatest TV villain of all time, and it's not even a contest.
they have the same.
I just got chills all over it.
Uh-huh.
The picture of Jock from the mansion is over there on the wall.
I know. It was out in the other one too. I wonder if they're gonna have something for Lucy.
Charlene Tilton, yeah. Josie, what's that?
Oh, JR. I forgot they did a JR doll. Oh my god. Oh, there's his boots. Belt buckle. Oh, they got some scripts over there too. JR Ewing Reserve.
That's impressive.
Holy cow. That is a piece of TV history.
Yes.
That's the pistol that shot JR. Boy, talking about history, holy gosh. And I remember when it went off, going, you mean I gotta wait all summer to find out? Oh my God, someone used JR's target practice. That's fantastic. JR Ewing, the man the whole world loves to hate.
Such a scoundrel.
He was. That is putting it lightly. Huh. Hello, darling. That's right, he used to say, hello, darling. Alright, so here they have like who hooked up with who on this show. And JR's line's like all the way over here.
Over here.
Sue Ellen actually had Bobby beat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
really?
well, look over here. So Dusty Farlow, my mother was so madly in love with Dusty Farlow when he was presumed dead in that helicopter crash. She cried for days. Oh my God. So they got all this whole thing. So Bobby was a good guy. Was a good one compared to everyone else. Dang.
What's funny?
Dang.
Ray Krebs is on several of these lines.
I know.
Who is Jenny? Who is Jenny?
So you see John Ross Ewing over here, Josie? That's the guy who played, who was in Hocus Pocus, who played
Max?
Max. Yes.
Oh, that's Max?
Yep. Mark Grayson. Yeah, Lucy had quite a little collection there too. Yeah, one I remember most for her was Mitch Cooper. Oh, and Alan Beam too. Dang.
Who's Mary?
I wish this show had lasted longer. It was so good. Yeehaw, partner. And of course, they're playing the video for God Bless Texas because it was filmed here at Southfork. See the video? God bless Texas, his own hand. Oh, that's Lucy's wedding dress.
Yeah.
It's when she married Mitch. When Gary actually came and decided to be a father to her. This is from the new show.
I can see that. I can see. When Christopher found out that he was adopted, he started to believe that he had to
Man. Oh yeah, I remember the controversy when Barbara Bell Geddes came back and they fired Donna Reed.
Are we waiting for this?
There's some scripts.
Barbara Geddes was the ribbon ceremony.
Well, she was. I did feel bad for Donna Reed though.
Yeah.
She was in a really impossible situation. Oh, this looks like some Larry Hagman scripts.
Wow.
Oh, Jock. Like, people today really can't appreciate just what a phenomenon this show was. Like, it wasn't that popular in its first couple of years, and then the Who Shot JR thing happened, and the show exploded. Of course, the National Enquirer had to get in on it. I don't think that anyone really realizes what a force the National Enquirer was back in the day. I mean, let's face it, Carol Burnett sued them because they told such a powerful rumor about her and her daughter that she had to sue them and got like a huge settlement.
They were the height of investigative journalism.
At that time, yeah. So, Dallas Answers, as you've been waiting for, is it really Bobby and Pam shower? Did Pam really get married to Mark? The answers is yes, it was really Bobby. No, she didn't really get married to Mark because it was a dream. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so what happened with that is that after, I guess it was 4 or 5 years, Patrick Duffy, who played Bobby, decided to leave the show. Well, within a year, so they went ahead and filmed this entire season where Bobby was killed off, being hit by a car by, oh God, I can't remember her name. Morgan Brittany was the girl who played the character. But so they did this whole season where Pam got married to Mark Grayson and all this stuff. Well, Patrick Duffy said, yeah, I made a mistake. I want to come back. So, of course, they were wanting to come back because the ratings were starting to tank a little bit without him. And he came back at the very last episode of that season, and Pam woke up, and this is after like some sort of other tragedy happened. Pam woke up and goes into her shower, and Bobby just like is standing with his back to her, and then turns around and says, "Good morning." And then you're left all summer like, what? And then when we watched the whole thing over after the season premiere, it was all a dream. Hall of Dream. And so that whole thing with the shower became very iconic. And so they recreated this when they did the reboot. Pretty clever, actually. There too. To
You might want to start making your way soon.
okay. All right, so we are on the little trolley thing, and they're going to take us over to the house. Of course, there's a tractor that's going to take us. But yeah, you come out of the museum over here.
I decided against those two.
Out at the trolley.
They're kind of cool,
But yeah, you can see where they filmed like some of the outdoor scenes over here.
yeah, well, they kind of remind me of like something you find like in an art museum.
The fence is very familiar. But I was also looking over here at like these oil rig type things. God.
It was built by a previous owner, and at one time there was an oil derrick in the middle of that drilling ramp. And this gentleman thought he was going to strike it rich like JR. There was no oil on South Fork. Trouble is, there's no oil here. But they used to do tours on that platform showing how the rig worked. But this gentleman spent all his money on this project and went bankrupt. So the bank came in and took down the derrick, plugged the hole, and sent him on his way. Kind of a sad part of our history here on South Fork, but it is what it is. All right, I'm going to start this up, and we'll go over to the mansion and see who shot JR.
Spoiler alert, it was Kristen Shepherd.
Ranch just centered around the show Dallas, but we have a lot of other activities that we have happened throughout the year. You know, we have weddings from time to time. We have gun shows, night shows. We have car shows. We have a peddler's fair once a month called Trade Days, and that's what's happening this weekend. And you probably saw that as you came in. And we do business events and social events, and that happens in that big white building you see there on your right. That is a 63,000 square foot event center. There's a big atrium in the middle and 5 ballrooms surrounding the atrium. Now here on your right, this arena, it was actually built by Lorimar Productions for the 100th anniversary episode of the show Dallas. We really don't have any big rodeos in there anymore. They have something called a showdeo. Kind of a smaller version of a rodeo. And they do horseback ridings in there as well. Now, Southfork is not a working ranch per se, as we don't buy and sell livestock, but we do have a number of animals on the property for you to see. In this first corral on your right, we've got 2 miniature donkeys. Looks like they're having their lunch. And in this next corral on your right, there's 2 llamas and a full-size donkey. That can be booked at southforkranch.com, and you would meet right here at what we call a party barn. This is where our trail rides start, this barn on your left. And the little cottage you see just beyond it there is called Elena's Cottage. That was used for filming parts of the 2012 Dallas reboot. Now the machine you see over there on your right with the long ranch, and you would, in many shows you would see Ray Krabs walking horses using that machine. And this barn on the left is where we house our 7 full-grown longhorns. And we've got a couple of calves in there as well. You can see them here. We're proud of our longhorn.
Like that? Like those longhorns?
And you can see the mansion over there on your left. We'll be coming around there in just a couple of minutes.
I am geeking out so hard right
Now,
now.
this barn you see on your right is called the stud barn, but it's actually where we house these animals that you just...
There's the stud barn.
Those tombstones represent Jock, JR, and Miss Ellie.
Oh, right
There's
there.
those 3 Ewing family members, cast members that have passed away. And over the side of that room is the 1978 Lincoln Continental Mark V. It's the car that Jock Ewing drove in the show.
Oh.
And you want to stop by after your tour to see that. It's a beautiful car. Very nice condition.
I am geeking so hard right now.
Now, as we approach the house here, I would ask you if you would please stay seated until I come to a complete stop.
Oh, it's a gazebo. Oh my God. It's like 1,000 degrees out here, but I got a little bit of a chill, I'm not gonna lie. Daddy's got 'em. All the stuff that happened in that pool over there. Yo.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Hello, welcome. Come on in, Bobby's boardroom. We're gonna talk about Southfork Ranch.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Welcome. Join us.
Good afternoon.
I'm Liz. I'm your tour guide for today. Have a question. Where is everybody from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Thank you for popping up and being the first to tell me. I appreciate that. Charlotte, North Carolina. All right. Ladies in the back, where are you from?
Here.
Ah, very
I'm
good.
from Maryland.
Maryland? Okay. Chicago. Back. Sydney, Australia. He might win the prize. Oh, Indonesia. Wow, welcome, welcome. So like I said, I'm Liz and I'm your tour guide for the afternoon. I hope I can answer all of your questions. And we're going to start with the history of this house. Well, let me back that up. Who is a fan of the show?
The 1978.
Exactly. Okay, good point. The 1978.
All of it. It was all
I like
I
all
know,
of it.
I loved all of it as well too, but especially the 1978.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. And my husband and I are rewatching the show now, so for you people that are not fans, you might want to rewatch it. You can catch it on, we're watching it on Prime Video Freebie. And so you have to watch a couple of commercials, but that's okay. But on that note, Larry Hageman in person, they say was a great guy. He was more like his character on Ivy Regini, if you saw him on that show, where he was Major Tony Nelson.
Yep.
They say he was a great guy on there, and they say in person, that's really more like who he was. He had great friends, he loved his friends, he loved helping his friends, and he was just a good guy all around. So I guess he got the part for JR just to be able to try something really different, don't you think? All right, well, the show Dallas was started in 1978, but prior to that, this house here was built in 1970 by Joe Duncan and his wife Natalie. He's in the plaid jacket and the yellow, she's in the yellow top, and the picture there was the rest of the cast of characters of the show. That was their first day of filming here on the ranch. And Joe was a local builder in the Dallas area, and he decided he wanted to build a family home for his wife and 3 boys, and also to get into the quarter horse business. So he bought this 200 acres out here. It was in the middle of nowhere. In fact, we were surrounded by cotton fields, and the road out front was just a 2-lane gravel road. So there was just nothing out. In fact, he sold a couple of those horses to some very important people, or big people that you might recognize. John Wayne bought a horse from him for over $1 million, and also Doc Severinsen, if you're familiar with him. Yeah, exactly. So he was doing pretty good in that quarter horse business. In fact, the story goes, if you were out on this road, you were either coming to buy an expensive horse, visit the Duncans, or you were lost. So that's how far out in the country it was way back then. Well, Lorimar Productions changed all of that. In 1978, we all know, the show Dallas began. The first 5 episodes were filmed actually not at this house, but at the Box Ranch, which was up the road in Frisco, Texas. You locals will know where that is. And the house is no longer there, sadly it burned, and they're doing other things with the property. It's being subdivided and all that kind of stuff. But that's where the first 5 episodes were filmed, and it was just filmed as a pilot. Well, we all know it took off. And so they went to the Box family and said, can we continue this agreement? And they said, absolutely not. And they did not want having people tromping on their flower beds and landscape and everything. So they said, no, we're down here, our helicopter, fly around the Dallas-Fort Worth area and find somewhere else that looked like the Box Ranch, because that's where it had already begun. Well, the Box Ranch had 6 columns on the front of their house. Ours only has 4. You disagree? Hi. Anyway, they found this. Oh, this is going to be a really boring video, I can tell you that. Me cutting in and out like I'm doing here. Sorry about that. Anyway, all right, so I told you they had a livestock business going, right? Well, Lorimar landed that helicopter out front, scared the livestock. Mr. Duncan came out, tried to get rid of him, said, I don't want what you're selling, get out of here, be gone. And so they had to make some other decisions what to do. Well, they came back a little while later with what I think, this is the Liz version, okay, you ready? I think they hopped out of that helicopter with one of those big old cardboard checks that Oprah and Ellen used to give away with lots more zeros behind it. That's what I think. But they didn't have them back then. Anyway, they did offer them more money, and they took the deal with 2 stipulations. First, you can only film on the outside of the house. That's what the Duncan family said. Only on the outside. Now, there are places on the inside where filming was done, and I'll be happy to show you all that as we go through. The second stipulation was you can only film in June, July, and August. Well, y'all are here in July. Isn't it pretty outside? Oh my goodness. So that's how they all agreed upon that the filming would be done only in the summer months, only outside. Good point. Well, the Duncans were on vacation. Actually, I think they switched it up because they had a house full of people and all this stuff going on. They actually vacationed in the wintertime is what I heard, and then they stayed home for summer. Because get this, they had 3 young boys. Now, can't you just imagine going back to school in the fall and saying, writing your report, what I did on my summer vacation. I went swimming all summer with Charlene Tilton in our pool at my house. Can you imagine? But that's what they did. That's how it was. So anyway, that all took place, and it was all on the outside. So they needed somewhere to film the inside scenes. The main reason it was not inside, besides the fact that this was their family home, was Mrs. Duncan told them, and I think it's actually quite honest, this house isn't big enough for the Duncans and the Ewings. So it's only a 6,000 square foot home, which is a nice size home. But when you have cameras and lights and crew and cast and all that, it's just not really big enough. And you can see hallways are narrow and things like that. So what they did was they found a house downtown Dallas area that was much, much larger, paid that family for the rights to reproduce that one, and they built this 40,000 square foot sound stage out in California. So the interesting thing, and why I have a lot of respect for the crew and the cast, is they were here in the summers, in the heat of summer, filming outside in Dallas, not just at the house, but around Dallas as well, in the heat of summer. And then months later, they'd go out to California for all the inside shots. Well, they had to piece it all together. So somebody had to be like a scene checker out there in Hollywood and make sure that, Sue Ellen's hair looked the same, and Pam was wearing the same earrings that when she walked into the house from outside, they do the inside shots, she has to look the same. And this was months later too, so there was a lot of coordinating. Everything was going along. They've got the soundstage out in California, they're filming out here. 1980 rolls around, right? What happens in 1980?
JR got shot.
Who shot JR? Exactly. And everybody around the world was excited about that because the show was filmed in 55 different languages, shown in 96 countries. So we have a lot of international guests, as you can see, and we love that about our tourism business here. It's a lot of fun. But I think we Americans don't realize that this was worldwide. So it's still pretty crazy, and people still come and they still want to know, how did the Ewings live and everything. But in 1980, there was a football game going on. And one of the broadcasters, sportscasters, was a beautiful lady named Phyllis George. She was Miss Dallas, Miss Texas, and Miss America.
Miss America.
And she was also First Lady of Kentucky. I have to remember to say that too, because I had some Kentuckians come through. She married the governor of Kentucky. Well, on that broadcast of the game, they were playing the theme song to the show, and everybody was talking because this was the fall of 1980, and they were talking about, who do you think shot JR? Well, they knew Phyllis George was from the area, and so they asked her, what do you know, Phyllis? What do you think? What do you know about Southfork Ranch? And she said, well, I know a little something about it. I know it's a real live working ranch. I know a real life family lives there, and here's the address.
Oh.
Y'all, she gave the address of this location. She gave the address. Everybody knew exactly where that was. The next morning, the Duncans awoke to half of Dallas on their front door. Can you imagine that whole field? I'm sure it was so crazy. Yeah, I know it. So, from then on, their life changed forever, I'm sure. They had people coming around the property, stealing their mail, stealing their newspaper, showing up uninvited at all hours. They'd go out to dinner, come home, and there'd be people sitting on the patio at the table or out by the pool, people swimming in their pools.
That's so rude. Oh my
I
gosh.
know, it's extremely rude. Think about it, and they finally did have to hire security. So today you'll get to see the whole house, by the way, including the balcony upstairs, the famous balcony. And they even awoke to people looking in the balcony windows at their bedroom and sitting up there. And anyway, I can't even imagine. So they finally in 1984 had said enough's enough. And it was time to move on. So they put the house on the market and they sold it to a gentleman from Odessa, Texas named Terry Trippett. He purchased the property for $7 million. Okay. Well, he also added a lot. You drove past the oil derrick over here, and of course the event center and the museum and all of that. And he added all that to the property. And since 1984, it has not been a home that people lived in full time. It's not been a family home. It's been open for tourism since 1984. And so he added some beautiful crystal chandeliers. We have two in the dining room that you'll get to see today, and one in the entryway. All waterford crystal chandeliers, beautiful. The two in the dining room were purchased for $7,500 each. The one in the entryway was purchased for $17,000. So they're lovely chandeliers that you can see. And over the master bed, JR's bed, as we call it, there's some waterford crystal lighting above it as well. That's beautiful. In 1984, and Terry Trippett, like I said, bought it. Well, he was a wheeler dealer, and sadly, he used the property as collateral on a business deal, and he lost it. So the bank took over, boarded up the house, locked the front gate, fired all the staff, kicked everybody off, and so for 2 years it sat vacant. And so thank goodness we had the sound stage out in California, so the show did continue, and all of us were fooled. Nothing ever changed on the show, so there we go. Life went on for the Ewing family. Well, 1992, the bank decided it was time to sell it, put it on the market. They sold it right over here to Mr. Rex Mon for $2.5 million. Now they had sold off some of the land, so he didn't purchase all 200 acres, but he had a smaller portion, but then he did add to that, so he ended up making. And he was already a billionaire in his own right, had lots of businesses going, international businesses, and this was a fun business for him. Because the house had been closed up, he hired a decorator to come in and not remodel, but redecorate to bring it up to its current status of 1980s. As you'll see, when we go through, it's just like she fixed it up as if the Ewing family actually lived here. They did not, and they do not. So just want to clarify that. Sorry to burst anybody's bubbles, but that's the case. Yes, ma'am.
Why are the glasses on the roof?
On the roof.
Why are they on the roof?
Because they're
They're hanging in a little holder up there. So this is our little bar that we use for parties in this room. This used to be the Duncan's 3-car garage.
Makes it so they're easy to get to.
Yeah, so when we have parties, they're easy to come off of there, all right? So just maybe one day when you get married, have mom and dad plan your wedding, you can have it right here.
She's not going today.
In many years, so we can have small gatherings, large gatherings on the property in the house. And we do weddings. In fact, there's somebody that was here today looking for a wedding venue. So we definitely have wedding venues. You saw the gazebo out here, and we have a lovely staircase that the brides can walk down. So we can do all kinds of things here. All right, well, Mr. Mon's decorator fixed it up like, I think you have a question. Okay, so the way it is today, each of the bedrooms, there's the 3 boys have their bedrooms downstairs, and then the master is upstairs. And the bedrooms are set up and decorated as if it was in honor of a character. And you'll see the large portraits in each of the rooms, so I'm pretty sure you'll figure out who that was in honor of. Next question I have for you. Who saw the reboot show? Okay, our super fans here in the front. All right, there you go. Okay, well that came out in 2012, and it was just kind of picking it up a newer version, and the boys were grown and all that kind of stuff. Well, Patrick Duffy and Linda Gray had already agreed to do that and come back out to Dallas to film that here. Well, then they asked Larry Hageman if he would agree to do it. He said, if Patrick and Linda are doing it, I'll do it. Well, unbeknownst to a lot of people at the time, Larry was already dying of cancer. So he said his first filming of Dallas was in his house, and he wanted his last filming of Dallas to be in his house. Yeah, I know, I kind of sometimes don't want to say it like that, but it is a little bit sad, but that's what he wanted as well. So he and his wife moved out from California. She had Alzheimer's, and then he had cancer, and so they downsized their estate, and he wanted to make sure as he sold things off that there was money in there, plenty of money for her in care in case he went first. And when she did, I think she lived another 4 years after he did. But he did pass away during the filming of the reboot show in November of 2012. So Lorimar Productions had to figure out how to murder JR, because let's be honest, people, who else besides Larry Hageman could play JR?
No,
right?
no.
Nobody in the whole wide world. There's just nobody. And the same with Jock Ewing. You know, the more I read and learn about Jim Davis, I'm thinking he was such a dear man too. And I don't think anybody could have played Jock Ewing but him. Although, let me jump over to that. Do you know who was first asked to play Jock Ewing?
I can't remember.
It's a big name, and I already said it. John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne.
John Wayne was asked to do that role first, and he had recently found out he had cancer. So he had to decline. And he said, hey, how about giving my buddy Jim Davis a call? And they did, and here we go. That's the perfect Jock Ewing, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So back to Larry Hageman and his wife moving out here. He sold his estate off and, auctioned it off and everything so that his wife would have plenty of money to have the care she needed. In his estate were a couple of things I'll show you when we get down into the living room that we have in the house. The third bedroom you're going to see is actually the crime scene where JR was murdered. And this was actually where it was filmed in the house here. You'll see that the hallway is painted black like you're going into a sleazy motel down in Laredo, Nuevo Mexico. And you're gonna go and see where he actually was murdered, and this is how Lorimar they came up with the storyline. They decided to say that JR had cancer, just like Larry Hageman did, and that he was going down to Mexico for treatments and they were not working. And he was in lots of pain and agony, and he said, no, I don't want to live like this. He asked his buddy to come down and shoot him, murder him, kill him, but he wasn't going out quiet. He decided to plant some evidence, and he decided to frame Cliff Barnes for the murder of J.R. Ewing. And as far as we know today, y'all, Cliff Barnes is still in the Mexican prison for a crime he did not commit. So, poor old Cliff Barnes, Tragedy just followed him everywhere.
He can never get one up JR. He can never one up JR.
He could never one up. My husband and I are rewatching it. I told you we're in season 5 right now. And he gets so close to one-upping him, but it failed.
Nope.
Right? It's the same original exact driveway. But I'm sure you'll agree it looks much longer on TV.
I was going to say, yeah.
They had the actors drive up and back, and up and back, and up and back. And they spliced it all together and made it look like it was really long. But really, that is the driveway. And that's all it's ever been. Sorry, I know that Magic of Hollywood. That's all
I was
can
literally thinking when we were driving up, I'm like, this is I recognize trees. Wait a minute, it doesn't. If it's not, it doesn't go on forever.
Right. On the show, you're exactly right. When you watch the opening credits, it's coming from the aerial view and it's coming towards the house, and it just makes it look like it's massive. Well, that's it right there, y'all. That's it. Wide angle lenses are magical, and that's what they use. So sorry to burst. I know it bursts all your bubbles. Just wait till you rewatch it. Now after I've told you some of this, you'll rewatch it and go, wait a minute. That pool looks like it's an indoor pool on the set because it doesn't have tile around the top like most swimming pools do. Oh, there's another key. So there's little things like that you'll see.
Iconic.
What is your name? Jody?
Josie.
Josie? All right, Josie, I'm gonna remember that. My name is Liz. Come on out, all the way around, folks. Come on in, come on in. All right, you can take a feel. This wallpaper is wallpaper. These wall coverings are leather, and I don't know if you have that at home. It feels kind of cool, huh? Kind of nice. Exactly. Very different. Very different. Yeah, I haven't felt leather on the wall either till I showed up working here. Come on in, come on around. Is the table. There has been more filming done at this table than anywhere on the property. All the breakfasts and happy hours and discussions and lots of arguing done at this table. So what I'd like to do is when the tour is ended and we go out the front door, you are welcome to come back around, take pictures out here, but you have to be nice. Okay, no arguing, no being mean at that table like the Ewings.
No tossing people in the pool, man.
No tossing people in the pool. That's happened one time since I've been here. Yep.
I was joking. Okay.
Is the main door where the Ewings came and went all the time. And as we go by here, you'll see that that's actually the kitchen. And so the Duncans and the cast of the show were very close. Oh yeah, you can see it all in there. You betcha. And so they really were, good friends. Like I said, they were here all summer, and so it was like summer vacation with the Ewings, And that's how it was with the Duncan family. Well, beyond that, you can see our Olympic-sized pool. What do you think of that? Whoa. All right. Well, that is also the pool, original pool. And again, Hollywood magic. They use mirrors on the sides and wide-angle lenses, which made it look much larger and bigger than it was. But also, when Patrick Ewing was doing all of those scenes where he was just swimming, he was actually tethered to the diving board at the opposite end of the pool. So he was like, just keep swimming, going nowhere. But that was the pool he was in. So that is the actual pool. All the sunbathing that we saw on the show, right out there. All right, and then when we get up to the balcony, you can overlook the whole property over here, and you can see where Miss Ellie's barbecues were, and Lucy's wedding was right out here. All the property was just the way it is right here, and that's where all the happenings were outside. All right, all the pictures you want, I'll meet you down at Jock's living room.
Yeah.
I thought I was in that photo, you go right there.
Oh, it almost looks like it. Right.
Tell her what you're doing starting Monday.
What are you doing?
Oh, she's gonna be like camp for them. You're gonna.
Trainer?
Yeah.
I have my phone in here.
Oh. Well, everybody, come on over into the room here. Here's the bar. I want you to feel free to stand in front of it, have your picture taken with JR. You can roast him, you can toast him, you can pick up a glass, whatever you like. It's one of those photo ops, y'all. You know what I think, because of the group too, I'm gonna have some of you go down
So this is the actual original floor plan. They used this floor plan when they were filming. They did not film in here, but Barbara Bel Geddes really loved this kitchen, so they recreated it on the sound stage. Just 3 times bigger.
Next tour starts.
It's just been well broken in, that's all.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a Airbnb. Picture of Jock over the fireplace. When the sound stage out in California shut down, when the show ended in 1992, somebody walked up on the sound stage, took the original. So when I told you, when he and his wife moved out here for the reboot show, and he downsized his estate, they sold the original not online. I always say online because we do everything online. Over the phone, you know, bidding, auctioning over the phone. And Mr. Mon, the owner, tried to purchase it, but he was outbid, sadly. Whoever bought it, we don't know who it is, somewhere in the world, they paid $39,200 for it. And I hope they're still enjoying it today. The other thing that was in Larry Hageman's estate that we did come down the stairs, it's in the entryway. It's a big, beautiful bronze eagle. And Mr. Mon purchased it because he wanted something memorabilia of Larry Hageman's, but also his logo at the time was an eagle in flight. And so it's really kind of cool. You can take pictures of that here in YouTube. So, all right, well, I'm going to leave the pack. We're going to go through.
That's Lucy's bedroom, or what Lucy's. Oh, that's Bobby's bedroom. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Oh, Patrick Duffy, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. Oh. So this bedroom is actually where they filmed JR's death scene. And in the reboot. And it leads you out to.
Last time we had a couple here and they got engaged.
Yay!
Yeah.
Careful, Josie.
So this is the famous balcony. They actually did film on this balcony. Oh, look at the view.
I wonder how long it's been since someone went.
People will forget by the time they actually watch it.
Let's get away from that.
All right. So, any questions while we're out here? Yes, Miss.
How long has it been since someone's been in that pool?
How long was it?
How long has it been since someone's been in that pool?
Yeah, yesterday.
Probably somebody after hours. Well, oh yeah, the guests spent last night. They probably went swimming. They really got a deep. All right. You guys have sweet. We'll get as many pictures as you want out here. The cemetery. You see that?
Yep.
I think they're interesting. Have your picture taken by their portraits on the wall if you want. And then I'll meet you over to the right at the top of the staircase.
Oh my gosh.
And look above the bed, the
JR's.
Waterford crystal chandelier or crystal lighting.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Of course.
See this bathroom.
Oh, JR and Sue Ellen.
The toilet.
The toilet. Okay, Joe.
Kind of a day.
Yeah, I definitely want this vanity when I grow up.
That's cool.
That is big.
This is not the shower that Patrick Duffy said, "Good morning," in.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yo, I want that.
Well, sometimes you gotta handle business while you're handling business.
Really? Really, Dad?
Really?
You had to say that?
Yeah. I
That is a
definitely want that tub when I grow up.
It's
Yep, there is a phone in the tub.
maybe someone has to handle business while they're already handling business.
Okay, Daddy. Wait, I just noticed Sue Ellen's picture.
Yes.
It was right there.
Larry Hagman, or I guess an owner, is the way he drank 4+ bottles of champagne per day's filming. Every day he was known to drink 4 bottles plus of champagne. Oh, wow. He loved his good champagne, and like some of them have told me, he didn't drink alone, but he also was an alcoholic, and he was open about that. Oh, really? He has a book, and it's called Hello, Darling. And he talks about it in there. So he said, either, you know, I'm an alcoholic, you love me, you like me, or you don't, that's who I am. So, yeah, but he was a great person, like we talked about earlier, that everybody just really liked. So. All right, we're losing our crowd. We're going to go down. All right, look at this beautiful chandelier.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it fall off.
All right.
Well, don't get too close to the edge then.
Is this actual oak?
Oh, yes. No, an oak banister.
Oak?
It is old, yes.
It's actually.
All right.
We
Okay.
need more of this in our lives.
Well, you can see from up here a really nice view of the front property where all of those crazy people were.
Yeah.
And also that driveway out
Yeah.
there is the original one. Okay.
I like the stairs on
People
steep.
still get me. Oh my God.
Here's that rendezvous that I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do you think? Any questions?
No, it's not a dining room, Josie. We already passed the dining room, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't work that again. That would have been too
A
crazy.
little hectic.
Yeah, exactly, very hectic. Well, if anybody would trust me with their phone, real quick, I'm gonna show you something.
It's hot, Josie. What are you talking about? Yo.
I said it's beautiful. I love that flower. Thank you so much.
so iconic. Oh my God. It's actually this table, the actual table.
Isn't this where JR sit?
Come in and have a seat, cousin.
Okay, as I did in San Francisco. Okay, I touched history.
I've been touching.
What was that you just said?
We're literally sitting in history.
Television history.
I'm fully touching history.
You are.
I am history.
Really?
What I just said was history.
All right, so
5 8 through the apple.
oh yeah.
A lot of bugs.
Oh, that happens.
The bug is just touching history, mate.
Oh, I think we're gonna go lounge by the Ewing pool. What do you say? Whoa!
Careful.
Okay, it kind of rocks back a little bit.
Yeah, that chair doesn't have the normal.
And there's the archway that leads into the pool. Wow.
Really cool.
So yeah, this is the original driveway.
It's beautiful.
Like in this area, they had Lucy's wedding to Mitch, if you remember that. Yo, this is so cool. Huh, atrium, Dallas Palace, Ewing Oil, Ewing Mansion. It's just a cool old car. Ewing Oil office. Huh. I'm gonna go take a look at John's Cadillac at the Lincolns and Longhorns.
That's our system.
Yo. Yep, that's a big old Cadillac.
Doesn't it look like something Eddie Guerrero would have?
Yeah.
That looks.
JR?
I almost got tricked.
1978 Lincoln Continental Mark V. My dad actually had this, but it was in blue, a Mark V. Yeah, my dad had this once around the same time the show.
Huh. Might have had this because of the show.
The actual car driven in the series Dallas by Jock Ewing, Jim Davis, from 1978 to his death in 1982. 25,270 actual miles, 460 cubic inch engine, 19 feet 3 inch long. Holy crap, that is a long ass car. Southfork is proud to display this beautiful car at center attractions on Lincolns and Longhorns. Yo. Ooh, that hoopty got some space in that trunk. And then you can come over here.
Oh my gosh. What was he supposed to
You win one. That's right.
It's a cow.
Yeah, we were sitting by that pool, drinking a mint julep. Talking about screwing our brother Bobby out of his fortune. Out of his inheritance. Because it's mine, Sue Ellen. It's mine.
What he did with my hair, Dad.
Who shot me?
Who shot JR?
Who shot JR? I was actually younger than you when that happened.
Was it you that shot JR?
No. 6-year-olds aren't allowed guns, baby. Thank you for the hospitality, folks. Y'all come back now, you hear? All right, Ewings. You are a bunch of conniving, terrible, backstabbing people. But we love you. I'm just saying. I geeked out so hard today. All right. This is our home for 5 days. Hotel Inigo. Very impressed with this lobby area. Bar lounge area. We were at La Hacienda Ranch for dinner because they use antlers and all over their decorating. Got a nice little private little area here.
I don't think they have a